is God really real? You know? And does heavens truly exist? And what are the proofs? You know, sometimes, and to me, I believe there are things that we just have to speak about them because we understand, not because we were convinced, you know. And among the disciples of Jesus, there's this disciple that I truly love. As much as Jesus cautioned him, but I think I love the kind of a person he was. And I am talking of no any other one but Thomas. And when you look at the deaths of the disciples, Thomas is the only person who died the most painful death, followed by Peter. Thomas died the most painful death, followed by Peter. In the deaths of the disciple, Thomas is leading in paying the price of following Jesus more than any other disciple. Because for Peter, he was crucified face down, you know, the head was down, the feet were up, and he chose it. When he was about to be crucified like Jesus, he said, don't crucify me the same way with my master. I want to be less before him, you know. And so he chose how to be crucified. Fine. We get it. The bottom line, it was painful. It was not sweet after all. But that is how he died. But Thomas' death was so different. He was skinned like a cow. Imagine people peeling off your skin while you are alive, with only one agenda. You feel pain until you deny your Christ, your master. And that was in India. And look at the place he went to preach the gospel. Look at the place the Holy Spirit took him. But this is the same man who told Jesus when he resurrected. If you have resurrected, truly, let all these people believe, but for me, I just have to touch. Because I saw you being nailed. I didn't run away. I was there. I saw the nails passing through your hands. I saw the nails passing through your feet. I saw the spear passing through your ribs. I saw them. And anything to tell me that you have resurrected, I believe. I will not believe until I confirm. And look at this. He gave Jesus, as much as Jesus rebuked him, but Jesus learned a lesson from him. As much as Jesus rebuked him, but Jesus learned a lesson from Thomas. And the lesson that Jesus learned became the last statement of Jesus. As I come back, how shall you confirm that I am the one? You will see the marks in my hands and the marks in my feet. Because I think Thomas followed Jesus with a purpose. Yes, he became one of the 12 disciples, but not because he was chosen, because he had his own reason. He followed Jesus not because of the miracles he was seeing, but because of something he knew. And it's like every day he moved and walked with Jesus, it was all about finding and confirming what he wanted to find and what he wanted to confirm. And it's like he was collecting data each and every day and putting the data together. To me, Thomas is like every day he used to come back and look at what Jesus has done, how he has done it, why he has done it. You know, he was analyzing. And for people who doesn't know the truth, majority of the book of Matthew was collected from the narrative of Thomas. Do you know, for those who don't know, Thomas was the very person that Jesus attended his wedding in Cana. The wedding of Cana was the wedding of Thomas. For those who have never known the history before, the 4 books. So it was Thomas who was wedding. So it was in the wedding of Thomas, the wine was not enough. And how is Thomas and Jesus related? Joseph, the earthly father of Jesus, Joseph, Thomas was a son to the last born in Joseph's family. So Joseph was an uncle to Thomas from the father's side. The reason why Peter, James, and John, they sound more louder is because they were from the mother's side. And Joseph, the father of Jesus, died along the age. Actually, he died when Jesus was around 16. He died when Jesus was around 9 years, turning to 10 years. That is when Joseph started becoming sick. That is when Joseph started becoming sick. And when he was around 16 years, Joseph died. And now, that is a story for another day why Jesus never resurrected his father. And for someone who will ask me, Prophet, tell us, why couldn't he resurrect his father? Go and see what he told his mother when his mother brought the issue of Joseph, of Thomas' wedding. What did he tell his mother? Mother, what do I have with you? My time is not yet. So why did Jesus bury Joseph? Because his time was not yet. And why was that enough reason to why, was that the main reason why Jesus couldn't resurrect Joseph, the husband to Mary? No. The main reason is because, this, God had to eliminate any weapon that the devil could use anti-Christ from the internal system. From the internal system. And that's why you see Mary was spared by heavens, because she believed in Jesus. She believed in Jesus. And the Bible says everything that Jesus did and everything that Jesus spoke, she kept all things in her heart. But even at the time of crucifixion, we see Mary went overboard. She forgot herself. She forgot her position. She forgot everything. And she captured a position that was not worthy in the system of God. And that's when she started calling Jesus, my son, when Jesus was on the cross, you know. And Jesus had to rebuke her silently and told her, woman. So when Jesus called her woman, then she remembered the conversations she had with Gabriel. The conversation that she had with Gabriel. And also, another thing I want you to know is that all that you read about Mary and Gabriel, the conversation that we read in the Bible about Mary and Gabriel, it's not 100% complete. There are parts which are missing. You know, there are parts that are missing. So all we read about Gabriel talking to Mary, it's not all. But as we keep on studying the Bible, you will find some parts Mary revealing and Jesus talking about them within the life journey of Jesus. But they were originally spoken when Gabriel met Mary. And so what I want you to know is that it was in the wedding of Thomas, Jesus performed the first miracle. So Jesus choosing Thomas, it was not a strange thing. Jesus had not met Thomas in the wedding as the first time. No. Remember, they were invited. So I want you to look at this. This is the first miracle of Jesus. But Jesus is invited with his mother. Invited with his mother. Why is Jesus invited with his mother? Because the mother of Jesus is a wife to Thomas' uncle. And so Jesus is like a cousin. And so they are invited in this. And why are they exactly invited? They are invited because they are part and parcel of the family. So the wedding was of the family, and Jesus was living somewhere else. So Jesus is brought in the wedding, and he is performing a miracle to his entire family. And where are they living? They are living in Cana. And where was Jesus living? By that time Jesus was living in Bethlehem, the land of Judea, before he relocated to Capernaum. So you see, Jesus is invited from this end because the family are on this other end, and so he's attending this wedding of Thomas, and the wedding is so beautiful, but the wine is not enough because there's scarcity, there's poverty. You see the nature of poverty. You can see now that similarity. Joseph likes a place to provide for Jesus, and you can see also the same thing. Thomas is wedding, but he doesn't have enough to provide enough wine, you know. And so Jesus performs this miracle of water into wine. and the glory comes to Thomas in a mighty way, and the wedding is so successful. He works on the fears of Thomas, you know. And so what does it leave? It leaves Thomas with question marks. So Thomas is following Jesus with a reason. He's following Jesus with a reason. There is a way he knows Jesus. You know, he knows Jesus to a certain level. And so everything that Jesus is doing, Thomas is really following it up with a lot of suspicion. You know, he believes in Jesus. Jesus did him a deal, but he's not just a person who, and so Jesus knew that, you know, and he's struggling. Okay, this is Jesus, son to my uncle Joseph. But the story is, there was no wedding and he was born. The mother says it was out of angelic speech. Okay, but I remember my uncle came to see my father and they were discussing about the pregnancy of Jesus. So which one is which? I was young, but I had these things. And now here he is, resurrecting the dead, you know, healing. How? But you see, he has to follow Jesus, but it is with questions of how. And Jesus came to know that. So when Jesus told Thomas, blessed are those who believe before they see, Jesus knew what he was talking about. Because Jesus had done a deal for him. But still, no, you know. And the disbelief of Thomas made Jesus to give us a mark of confirming that he's the one. Let's imagine Thomas didn't have that disbelief. You see, anything will just come and say, I'm Jesus, and we follow, you know. Just like the Jesus of Tongarin, you know, for those who come from Kenya, you know, the Jesus of Tongarin. You know, the first day I wanted to confirm if it was the true Jesus, because Jesus can, by the way, he can come to Kenya, he can come to Uganda, he can come to UK, he can come to US. Jesus, he came to the people, two men who were going to Emmaus, you know, and they couldn't recognize him, okay? Until when he started sharing the bread with them, or when he shared the bread with them, that's when their eyes opened. So let us not dispute that maybe he's not the one in Tongarin, but me, I said he's not the one the day I happened to have looked into his hands. I didn't see any mark of nails, and by that I disqualified him. Because what made these two men of Emmaus to recognize that, to know that it was Jesus, they saw the mark of the nails, and they were like, ah, look at the hands. The hands are bleeding. Look at the hole. Come on, this is Jesus. And he disappeared, you know, because they saw the mark. Come on. And when he resurrected, Thomas said, okay, Peter, you can believe what you want to believe. John, you can continue with what you want to continue. But for me, let me tell you, whoever you are, I don't want to know whether you are the Jesus who was crucified or the new Jesus. But me, I believe in only one thing. The Jesus I saw on the cross. That is the one I want to believe in. I'm not interested with who you are. But if you are the one, come here. Me, I have to look into those hands. And I don't want just to look. I want to touch. I want to touch. I want to put my finger in the, because I saw the nails, the size of the nails. And I have to. And Jesus looked at him and said, oh, Thomas, Thomas, blessed are those who believe before seeing. But it's well, come. Touch. And all people were afraid, but Thomas went and said, me, I have to touch. And he was the signature. He was the witness that truly Jesus had resurrected. Because when he touched, he felt it because he saw it. He felt the power of the wounds. He saw the power of the holes. He felt it because he saw it. And he's the one who confirmed and shouted and said, yes, he is the Lord. He is the Lord, because he had touched them. And so people have talked of people have talked of Thomas negatively, but trust me, I talk of him very positively. You know what? There's something he opened up. There's something that Thomas made us to know. And it was by his disbelief we have the mark of Jesus. When he comes, we know what to look at. We need to look at the nails, the beatings, you know. We need to see the marks of the hands and the feet, because you can't pretend. That's the only thing that even Satan cannot copy-paste, you know, because they have to be real. And up to date, the wounds of Jesus has never been healed. Because those are the marks. Those are the marks. Those are the marks. So, my brother and sister, I would really love to have a program with people where we talk realities and we talk on God, on truth, and we check and we counter check again. And every glory we give God is not because we are bribing or we are trying to credit him what he doesn't own. You know, we have to give him the truth. And if he's going to be our God, let him be God on truth. No, you know, not because someone deceived us or someone convinced us or someone, you know, someone has paid us to come and talk of good things about him when he's not. No, me, I will not do that kind of business. There are other things I can then go and do. But if we are going to talk about God, then let us talk about God in truth. You know, if we are going to analyze the Bible, let's find and search for the truth, nothing else, because Jesus said, I am the way and the truth, you know. And so I don't expect me to come here and, you know, I start quoting things, I start quoting, you know, thinking that now, why should I defend God after all? No. I don't want to defend God. And I will never defend him. But I will serve him on the truth. Just the way Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego told King Nebuchadnezzar, let it be known to you, Mr. King, we respect you. And with all due respect, your voice is a command, but not on matters of our God. Not on matters of our God. Because for us, we have a God. For us, we have a God. And let it be known to you. We respect you. But when it comes to the matters of God, us, we have a God. Whether he saves us or he doesn't save us, he is our God. And we cannot bow to any other God. So we are not calling him God because he can save us. Neither are we saying that he's not God because he won't save us. But we are saying he's our God. Whether he saves us or not, he is our God. So if it is the fire you have put in front of us, let it be known that we are going to be the first people to be thrown there. Because we know what we serve. And Nebu said, What have you said? You have a God. Whether he saves you or not, you have a God. Okay. Increase the fire. Let me see if there's a God who can save you from my hands. And God said, okay, then I will show you. I save my people from any forms of hands, because I created those hands you are boasting about. Let me show you that I created those hands you are talking about. I'm not just a name, I'm a real God. I was not chosen or selected or voted for to be God. I am God because I voted myself. I am God because I created myself. I am God because I am God. So I can save my people from your hands, because you are not a God. You are just a king. And if you bring me to your level, then I don't become a king, but I become the King of Kings. If you reduce me to your level, then I can only become the King of Kings, not a king. I can only become the King of Kings. And if you take me to the lower level, then I only become a Lord of Lords. So I always take the highest position. And indeed, God saved Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Why? Because they knew the God they believed in. And so that has been my desire and my thirst. I don't want just to follow a God because people are calling him God. No. I don't want to preach him because people are preaching and they get offerings. No. By the way, offering is not the reason why I preach. No. Because he stopped me from doing my own things. And he brought me to do his things. So if I also accepted and left my things and I came to do his things, then, you know, it has to be, we have to agree. Yes, me and God, we have to agree. We have to agree. And the only agreement I have with him is one. I want to serve him in truth and nothing but truth. I will never bend a word to give him glory. No, that will be false glory. And I would stand to say he's God because I am sure, 100% sure he's God. I'm not dreaming, I'm not imagining. I know he's God. So, let's go back to our big question. Is God real? Is God really real? Does heavens truly exist? Do we have any proofs that God is real? Good. We can say probably the story of Adam a myth. We can say the story of Adam falling in the land of Eden a myth. Because we believe in that, but Buddhists don't believe in that. Well, we believe in Adam and Eve, but the Zoroastrians don't believe in that. You see? But do we have things that proves that God is real? And this is exactly what Elijah did. Elijah summoned the people of Israel and told them, listen, up to how? For how long? Up to when shall we continue in this confusion? Oh, Baal is God. Oh, Yahweh is God. Oh, Baal is God. Oh, Yahweh is God. And what Baal says is contrary with what Yahweh says. What Yahweh says is contrary with what Baal says. What Baal wants is contrary with what Yahweh wants. What Yahweh wants is contrary with Baal. And now we are divided. Look, how about if we leave this battle and take them back to the owners? How about if we stop fighting, and we take this matter back to them, and we make a challenge for Yahweh and for Baal? And because Baal has representatives and Yahweh has representatives, whereby I'm one of his representatives, let this battle be for the two with his servants, or the two with their servants. But for you who are not priests and prophets, we bow and worship the one who wins. How do you look at that? And people said, now Elijah, you have prophesied. People told Elijah, now you are Elijah, now you are prophesying, you are talking. Go deeper. Now you are talking. It is true. It is true. And the prophets of Baal came and asked Elijah, we have heard you. What is the nature of the competition we are giving the gods? And Elijah said, very simple. What is it that Baal loves and Yahweh loves? Offering. Offering. And yes, something which is common. They both love. What is it? Offering. We are the one who normally offers to them, yeah? Yes. Okay. In your history of Baal, you have histories of Baal accepting offerings, yes? Yes. We also have our history of God accepting offerings, yes? Yes. But after it is processed. Now let us do this. Why don't we prepare everything for them, but we tell them to come and process them by themselves? And that is by bringing fire. We have seen magicians performing signs of fire. Yes. We have seen acrobats producing fire from nothing. They drink water, what comes out is fire. We have seen that. Yes. We have seen acrobats playing with fire. You know. Yes. And so when Elijah told them about that, they were like, oh, that one is a simple, sweet one. And they started fighting among themselves. I'm the one performing that. You remember the spell of this, yeah? That spell, our mind works very fast. Another said, leave that spell of yours. Me, I have another one. I've never just done it to you people. Me, I have another one. Mine. Okay. And they started fighting among themselves. I'm the one going to do it. I'm the one going to do it. I'm the one who's going to perform it. I'm the one. And Elijah was like, now, God, you have a job to do. You have a job of switching off their fire. None of them who knows a spell of any fire production should work. Then you have the mission of bringing fire by yourself. And Elijah, being very clever, he looked at two things. If he become the first one to do it, and God brings fire, then they will tell Elijah, look for another one. You have already brought fire. Then they will say, the fire we were to bring down, Elijah has hijacked it. He stole it. Elijah went to them and told them, you guys, because you are many, you need time to put your spells together. So you will start. You have the whole of afternoon up to 6. And people came with their spells. And that's why the Bible says they even cut themselves. They bleeded until there was no more blood. Because they knew what they were doing. Not that they didn't know what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. They knew those spells works. And those spells can command fire. But that day they were shocked that even by doing the right spell, there was no results. Because there shall never be results in the presence of God if God is not that result. There are all other forms of results in the presence of God. If God has not given that one, they are all false, wrong. There shall never be any results in the presence of God if God is not the one who has given that result. So even by them doing the right spells, there were no results. Because any result that God does not approve and it takes place in the presence of God, then that result is God. And Elijah knew that. And they had the whole day, they had the whole time, did every nonsense that they could do, and there was nothing coming out. And when it was the time of Elijah, Elijah told them, now let me show you. These woods are too dry. Make them wet. Do we sprinkle water around them? No. Dig a ditch around them. Pour for me 12 baskets of water until the woods, the meats, everything stones were consumed by water. And Elijah told them, now wait and see. And what happened? We know the story. Elijah did not finish the prayer. Because before he says amen, the Lord had brought fire, and the fire did not burn, but consumed everything and turned everything into ashes within minutes. And the Bible said, and from there everybody bowed and they said, Yahweh is the true God to be worshipped. But those are stories. But let's use those stories to look into our reality and the life of today. And in our season and our generation, does God truly exist? And does heaven truly exist? In our today's life, that truly heaven is real. Number one, in our physical body, we lost it big times. We lost it big times that God cannot directly communicate, fellowship with us in our physical state. According to the nature of God, He can have nothing with us in our physical state. So get it right. In our physical state, God can have nothing with us. Why? Because we are very, very much vulnerable. Very, 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 very much weak. Very, very, very much unworthy. And let me start by the first term. We are very, very much vulnerable. What does that mean? What is to be vulnerable? To be weak? To be, something or someone who is vulnerable. I don't know whether you can get that feeling. I want you to feel the power of the word, not the word itself. And so we are very, very vulnerable. What does it mean? This is exactly what it means. God is more than perfect. God is more than clean. And so something that is more than perfect and clean, it can only be referred as holy. And now, God is more than holy. Good. Relax and get this. I've said we want to talk on reality. And I'm sorry because probably I may not be shouting, God, no, because you will capture nothing. I'll make a lot of noise and you get nothing. And there was a time the Spirit of the Lord spoke to us and told us to reduce noise and increase the voice of God. And so, let's try to follow what the Lord spoke. So I just want you to relax and get this thing. God is more than clean. He's not just clean, he's more than clean. Is it true? Yes. Because he told Moses, where you are about to step is holy ground. Remove your shoes. Is it true? Yes. He says in his word, come, let us reason together. Even if your sins are as red as blood, I will make them as white as snow. Just by talking, reasoning. So something that is much clean and something that is very perfect. How do you term it? Holy. Now, God is not just holy. He is more than holy. Why? Because he lives in a place called the Holy of the Holy. I want you to get the power of this word. The Holy of the Holy. The clean of the clean, which means there is the clean, but there is another clean. There is clean, but there is another clean. Do we have any story in the Bible that describes a secret of that? Yes. When Moses and Elijah appeared to Jesus, what does the Bible say? The period is called the period of transfiguration. What does the Bible say? The Bible says, and the garments of Jesus, the clothes of Jesus, became white than anything that has ever been seen. It was whiter than snow. But on earth we say as white as snow. But here the Bible says it was whiter than snow. In school we were taught as white as snow. But here the clothes, the garments of Jesus became more white than snow. Now look at something that is whiter than snow. It means it's outside the realm of the earth. The clothes of Jesus became more whiter than snow. Now we are seeing two parts here of snow. God is talking of our sins, which are red as blood. He will make them as white as snow. And the garments of Jesus during the transfiguration. And that was just Moses and Elijah coming to talk to Jesus. How about now God himself? I don't know whether I am moving with someone in the spirit. Now, if Moses and Elijah, by appearing to Jesus, the clothes of Jesus can become as such, how is the nature of God, or what is the nature of God with his Godship? You see, the book of Revelation does not talk about God in his glory. It talks about the horn of Jesus. The book of Revelation, first and foremost, you need to know, it's not talking about God anywhere. The book of Revelation is talking about Jesus. So for those who have been reading the book of Revelation and you think it's talking about God, you are wrong. The book of Revelation is all about Jesus and the system of heaven. Why? Because Jesus had told the disciple, I surely tell you, not all of you shall die. Some of you will not die until you see the glory of the Son of a Man. So, and everybody knew he was talking about who? John, the most loved disciple. And many people believe that John will never die for eternity. But that is not exactly what Jesus meant. Jesus meant that season of his honor. Because how does the book of Revelation begins? And then there was this great and mighty angel who stood, and he came with the seals, and he shouted with a great voice, who can break these seals? Who can break these seals? And there was no one in heaven, no one on earth, and no one below the earth. There was no one in heavens, no one on earth, and no one below the earth. And John had been lifted in spirit to attend the so-called the graduation of Jesus. Because that is the time that Jesus was being graduated, to sit on the right-hand side of his Father. Hey, you need to understand what the book of Revelation is all about. And it's talking about the honor, the graduation of Jesus, the new position of Jesus, and his coming back, and the coming of the end of the earth. It's not talking about Yahweh. The book of Revelation is not talking about Yahweh. It has nothing to do with Yahweh. So don't read the book of Revelation and think it's talking about God. No, it's talking about this thing that Jesus had spoken to his disciple. I assure you, all of you, you shall not die until one of you sees the Son of Man being honored. And John says, and when he realized there was no one in heaven, no one on earth, no one below the earth, he started crying. Why? Because there is somebody he had believed in, and even that one, Kumbe, is powerless. And that man had said that he was the strongest and the most powerful. Hey! John akajuliza, yani muda yote, all this time. John asked himself, you mean all this time I've been just following someone who is weak? And he started crying. Why did John cry? Not because there was no one. Because there is someone he believed in. And even he was coming to realize that even that person, he believed in a wrong person. And that's why he started crying. In other words, John cried because he was disappointed in what he had believed in. And that is when one angel went and touched him and told him, stop crying. what you believed in is the right thing. There is one called the Lamp of God. And when John had the name the Lamp of God, he remembered. Jesus used to call himself that. The Lamp of God, the Lamp of God, the Lamp of God. He remembered it. That is the name he used to call himself. So when John had the Lamp of God, he was like, yes, yes. You know, it's like a boxing match. And there's this young little boy who believes in a champion. He believes in somebody so much. Or he believes in his father or his brother, bigger brother. And the match starts, and the brother is being beaten, the father is being beaten. And the first round, the second, but now the final round, when the referee start counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the boy loses hope. 6, oh, my brother is not waking up. My father is not waking up. 7, my father is not waking up. 8, 9, now the father wakes up. And the father or the brother start punching the opposite side. Punches until technical knockout and someone is out. And how will that young man feel over his bigger brother or his father? He's like, yes, yes. And that is exactly how John was. When he had the name, there is the Lamp of God, he said, yes, yes. And indeed, the Lamp of God that he knew appeared. And John was like, that is my man, that is my master, that is my teacher. And he started breaking the seals one after the other. Seals that no one could break. That is what the book of Revelation is all about. The book of Revelation does not talk about Yahweh. It's talking about the honor of this great teacher that I am talking about today. That's what the book of Revelation is all about. And so, oh my God, where were we? We were talking about the holiness of God. Why, as humans, we have no space in the presence of God. Because first, we were not created to be anything special. We were just created to be an image. It's only that God falls in love with the image. Oh yes. Not all photos we take, we make them profiles photos. But there are some photos which are long-term profile photos. Even though we have removed them from the front part, but there is a safe place we have kept them. Because they still touch us. And you know what? The first step for your photo to be nice to others, it must be good to you. Yes. Any photo you see somebody using as a profile photo, it is good to the owner. And not all photos are good. So, we were not important until he confirmed that we were worthy. Because we were just an image. Let's say we were created and he didn't like it. He would have said, really? Do I look like that? Come on. Break that one. Who would have existed? Who? Oh, blessed be his name. Because when he was given the photo, the image of his like, he looked and he said, "Whoa, what? That is very nice. Okay, I like it. Now it must live. Give it life. Put it there, I'll come and give it life." He came and breathed it through our nose. Through the nose of Adam, he breathed. And all of us, we became living things. It is by his love. Let's say he never liked it. Let's say he never liked it. I once saw a teacher who came into a class and told his students, today we are doing what we call art and craft, and we are doing modeling. So I want you to create, every one of you, make a cow. Some people made cows of 6 legs. Some people made cows of 12 legs. Some people made cows with eyes at the back. Some people made cows but the tail was on the side. You know? And all this modeling of the students, it's only the teacher who knows the real cow. And so the teacher picked one and said, you see, this is, whose project is this? Clap for him. This is the cow. A cow has 4 legs, 2 ears, 2 nose. A cow says, "Baa." So the same thing with us. Let's imagine God didn't say it was good. Where would we have been? Where? Nowhere. All of us will be nowhere. We are here because when it was presented, when the image that is Adam was presented before God, God liked it. God said, that thing is good. And so what were we made from? Soil. Now look at this. After the modeling is done, does the teacher carry all those things to the staff room? No, he leaves them there. Blessed be the Lord that after it was created and it was good, he made it a profile. And when we put profile on sensitive platforms. So when Adam was a good picture, where did God put it? On the profile of a place called Eden. That's why we always visit our profile. That's why God was always visiting Adam in the evening. So, what happened? The enemy came and distorted the profile. When you find your profile picture distorted, maybe someone has come and has written an insult on top of it. Do you still keep it? No, you remove the photo from the profile. The profile becomes empty, blank. When Adam was distorted, God removed him from Eden. But because you loved your photo, what do? You find a way to remove the effects of distortion. And when you manage to remove the effect of distortion and you still love the photo, what do? You return it back on the profile. That's the same thing God did. He sent an expert by the name Jesus Christ to come and remove the distortion on his profile, who is me and you, through his death and through his blood. And now, after the image is well done, God was told by Jesus, the work is over. Jesus told God, the work is over. And God came and he said, good work. Now, what does the owner of the photo do to the one who was able to save his photo? Reward him. That's the book of Revelation now. And what do you do with your photo? Because you still like it, you take it back to the profile. That's why God is taking it back us to live now with him. Or you preserve now the photo somewhere safe. That is exactly. So what proves that God is real? First proof is Jesus and the cross of Calvary. The first proof that God is real, it is Jesus. The first proof is Jesus. The second proof, it is the dreams we dream. Because we can't reach God in the physical form. And we are a precious profile. Now God reaches us through dreams. Why? Because he said in his word, no man shall see me. No man shall see me in the physical realm and live. You will die. So it means we can't see God physical, but we can see God spiritual. So what is spiritual dreams? Spiritual dreams is the first phase of death. So there are two types of death. There is the temporal death and the permanent death. What is the temporal death? The temporal death, it's when all of us, we sleep. The permanent death is when all of us, we permanently sleep. So there are two types of death. The temporal death and the permanent death. The temporal death is when you are blackout. Because four things happen. You don't know who you are. You don't know whether you are still where you are. You are not sure whether you will wake up. And you don't know when you will go out. I've never seen someone who says, now I'm sleeping. No. We go to bed to sleep. We feel sleepy. But no one can tell the time at end of blackout. At mimi kigonga tu saine tap. Ni kama steamer. I'm like electricity. When it just reaches at 10, I'm like electricity. Top tap. No one. We all search for the sleep. And nobody can tell when. Nobody can tell when it will pick him or her. You just find yourself asleep. And nobody can tell when he or she will wake up. We just find ourselves awake. We put alarm to wake us up. But alarm does not wake us up. Because sometimes that alarm can ring and ring and ring. But it is there, you are there, and you cannot hear it. Because you are in this semi form of death. So you can't even hear that alarm. And sometimes also we go to bed to sleep and the sleep does not come. So we keep on turning and turning, rolling and rolling. What are we looking for? We are looking for the sleep which has refused to come. So we don't sleep because we own it. And sometimes we sometimes we lack sleep not because we can't afford it. Because that is not our portion. It's the portion of system of God. And so that state is called the temporal stage or the temporal state of death. So we all die and we all resurrect each and every single day. So who brings us up? Almighty God. So, do you understand? So that is exactly how loving our God is. Now, in our semi-death, in our temporal death, that is when our heavens opens up and they talk to us. And that moment is what we call dreams. But I want you to know something here. That dreams have got stages. And I can say the set program of dreams. If you are between 5 and 20, never say you dreamt. That's not a dream. No one between 5 and 20 years dreams. No. It's what we call misplacement of words. Between 5 and 20 years, they are not dreams. Even if you have a child of 20 years and tell him, Mom, I dreamed. No, that person did not dream. Between 5 and 20 years, you only prophesy. People have never known, people know prophecy as proclamation. But how do you proclaim what you have not seen? So I want you to know this. Between 5 and 20 years, anyone between 5 and 20 years, you don't dream. You prophesy. Between 5 and 20 years, you prophesy. If I'm talking to anybody who can tell me here that there's a dream I had when I was a child, it was not a dream. Because be very honest with yourself. One thing you'll realize that you don't know whether you are seeing that thing or you are asleep, because there is a state. The spirit must come out of the body. And whenever the spirit comes out of the body is weak, the body falls. So where the body falls, you will only pick yourself when the spirit comes back in it. And because we don't live on a hill, we don't live on a tree, we live on the ground, obviously the spirit will leave you in a very conducive place. So the spirit will lead you, the angel will lead you in an environment whereby when the spirit leaves, the body cannot be affected or damaged, because it's fragile without the spirit. The body is fragile without the spirit. So where do you think the angel will mostly lead you? In a lying place where you can lie on the ground. And because your spirit needs to travel, you lie on the ground and the spirit leaves and the body becomes helpless. So when the spirit comes back in the body, I know now I'm speaking a language that some people may not understand, but you will understand because it's not a difficult language. Now, let us look into the book of the Bible, in the book of Isaiah. No, the book of Ezekiel. Let's look into the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 37. Verse 1. The hand of the Lord came upon me and brought me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley, and it was full of bones. The hand of the Lord came upon me and brought me out in the spirit. So you see, this is a prophet who understands the systems of travels, the spiritual travels. He knows that the spirit can be lifted from the body. But the question is, when the hand of the Lord came upon him and lifted and brought me out, I want you to get this. The hand of the Lord, this is the prophet, the hand of the Lord comes and brings him out. So when it is brought out, what is this thing remaining with? This glass, it's remaining with what? Nothing. Because this is the spirit and this is the body. So this is now weak, so it has to fall. You see, it has fallen. Why has it fallen? Because the spirit, which is the active living power, it is in the valley with the Lord. And it is walking the valley full of the... And verse 2, then he caused me to pass by them all round. So you see, it's not God passing. It is God making the spirit to pass. So where is the body? Where is the body of Ezekiel? The body of Ezekiel, prophet Ezekiel, is somewhere lying. Now, if God does this daytime, where people are suspicious, what will they do? With culture, they will start crying, oh, you are dead, oh, he's dead. And so what will do? They will damage the body. Because someone will say, let us take him to mortuary. So when they take you to mortuary, you're not dead. It's the spirit that the Lord has. So God is not fool. He has to use a situation. He has to use a place where there's no disturbance. Because at night, who is disturbing who? Nobody. Okay? But daytime, people will come and knock you. Hey, then they realize you are not responding. Come on, somebody come, help. So in the process, they will damage this body that is fragile. Because God has taken away the spirit. So, I want you to look at verse 2. Then he caused me to pass by them all round, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and indeed they were very dry. And he said to me, son of a man, can these bones live? So God is talking to... You see, you will not say... First, the Bible started by saying that the Lord came and took him out. But he's walking and he's being talked to and he's responding. And he's seeing. But where is the body? Where is the body? So the body is lying somewhere. But the spirit is out of it. So, many people will wake up and say, I had a dream. But you see, me as a prophet, when you tell me I have a dream, I will first look at your age. So if you are in the age of 5 to 20, I know you, okay, you will call it the way you want to call it. But to me, I know it was not a dream. It was a prophecy. Because for you to prophesy, you must see something. For you to prophesy, you must see. If you think I'm cheating, Open your Bible. For you to prophesy, you must see something. Yes, Jeremiah chapter 1. Good, get it? Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 11. Are you there? Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I said, I see a branch of an almond tree. Then the Lord said to me, you have seen well, for I am ready to perform my word. And the word of the Lord came to me the second time, saying, what do you see? And I said, I see a boiling pot, and it is facing away from the north. Then the Lord said to me, out of the north calamity will break, and on all the inhabitants of the land. For behold, I am calling all the families of the kingdoms of north, says the Lord. They shall come, and each one set its throne at the entrance of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all its wall all around, and against the cities of Judah. And I will utter my judgment against concerning all wickedness, because they have forsaken me. Verse 17. Therefore prepare yourself and arise, and speak to them all that I have commanded you. Do not be dismayed. Getting the point? So, we are seeing something here. There is no prophesying without seeing. So you see, by virtue that the body is resting and you are seeing, what makes you to wake up and say it was not a dream? Of course, you will wake up and say, I had a dream. 100% of course, you will wake up and say, truly, I had a dream. But between 5 years and 20 years, there are no dreams. Then between 20 and 37, there are no dreams but visions. Only visions. Now, if you want to know what I'm telling you is true, when Samuel was young, did he see a dream or did he see a prophecy? It was a prophecy, not a dream. Because when Eli woke up, he didn't ask Samuel, what did you see? No, he asked Samuel, what did he say? And Samuel was like, should I speak, should I not? And Eli told Samuel, Samuel, don't hide me anything. Remember, I'm supposed to bless you. And if you hide me, I will not bless you. I'll take away the blessing. And so Samuel spoke to Eli. But why couldn't Eli ask him, what did he show you? No. Eli asked, what did he say? So between 5 and 20, you only see prophecies. Between 20 and 37, you see visions. That's what the Bible says. And these, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were young men given power over all forms of visions. And they saw visions and the interpretation of dreams. So they were able to interpret the dreams, but they were not dreamers. Does the Bible tell you when Daniel told us the guard to give him time, he will get the interpretation of the dream? He went and dreamed. The Bible says, and he was given. So you are given something through vision. He was given the dream of Nebuchadnezzar. He did not dream it. He was given because he was a young man. You see, the Bible defends itself and it stands for itself. But the problem is that the grace of knowing each letter and what it stands for. And the format of the Bible, if you want to know how the Bible has been written, you must understand a simple literature. Look at the format of just 3 words. Mene, mene, tekel, peres. The same hand that wrote on the wall is the same hand that guided all the writers of the Bible. That's why some of them never went to school, but they wrote the Bible. That's why some of them don't have basic education, but still they wrote the Bible. Because it was that hand that wrote on the wall. Mene, mene, tekel, peres is the same hand that guided all the writers of the Bible. All the prophets were guided by that mighty hand. And that is the same hand that writes everything in the book of life and the book of judgment. So if you are here and you have been asking yourself, who writes? There is writing, and what writes is the hand. It's just called the hand of God. The writing hand of God. It doesn't have body, it doesn't have legs, it doesn't have anything. It's just a hand, but it has life. And its work is to write. Every day, its work is writing. Because if it has the eyes can disturb it. The eyes can say, I'm tired of seeing. If it has the nose can say, I'm smelling something. So it makes the hand to stop. If it is connected with the mouth, it can forget, the mouth can say something. So it's just a hand with life in it, and its work is to. Every day. And it delights in writing the things of God. So what is seen in the book of David, in the book of Daniel, over King Belshazzar, let it not surprise you. Because God can give life in anything. And Jesus said that. If you want to tell these children to stop shouting and glorifying me, then I will make the stones do that. Then I will wait to see if you can tell the stone, now shut up. And you can imagine stones doing that. It means that noise is unbearable. Because we step on stones, we walk on stones, we meet stones. Everywhere we are surrounded by stone. Even your house right now. It's made of what? The floor. And you know, stones are divided in three. Big, small, very small. They are all stones. Stone over sand is different with the stone of the land, but they are all stones. So you can imagine if that noise cannot be, you can't comprehend. And Jesus said that. He said, try to stop them. Then you will know that you are not dealing with real things. You are dealing with things that are beyond reality. Power of the glorious God. You know? And so, that hand, it can also live. So don't stop asking yourself, how can a hand just live? Because you are limiting God at the capacity of your mind, at the capacity of your understanding. God is not limited by our capacities. You get this? And so, between 5 and 20 prophecies, between 20 and 37 visions, and between 38 and 75 dreams. If you think I'm cheating you, can you open your Bible in the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 17. Look at the order. Acts, chapter 2, verse 17. Look at the order. The book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 17. Are you there? What does it say? And it shall come to pass in the last days, says God, that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and daughters shall prophesy. Your young men shall see visions. And your old men shall dream dreams. And on my men servants and on my maid servants I will pour out my spirit in those days. And they shall prophesy. I will show wonders in heaven and above, and a sign in the earth and beneath. So have you seen the order? And if you think that is not enough, the book of Joel chapter 2 verse 18, what does it say? So you see, there is that order that God kept. There's that order. Why? Because the communication of prophecy is different with the communication of vision and the communication of dreams. So if you are 38 years and above, you are in the dreams, not visions. And dreams can be short, medium, and long. Visions can also be short, medium, and long. Prophecies can be short or long. There's no medium in prophecy. And that is exactly what happens. So nobody dreams by his own authority. And that's why the three sets of dreams, these are sets of dreams. The sets of dreams are prophecy, vision, and dreams itself. And then the three types of source, we have the mental and the spiritual. The mental and the spiritual. The mental comes as a result of two things: fear of the heart and the worries of the mind. We call it mental. Spiritual are also divided in two: right, darkness, or light. Full stop. From the darkness or from the light. Full stop. So why do you dream? You dream because God wants heavens to communicate with you. What proves that God uses dreams to talk to us? Because he can't talk to us physically. We can't reach him physically because our bodies are wicked. Our bodies are wicked. And that's why he told David, you can't, yes, David, you are a man after my heart. I talk to you. Even David was talking to God, was not talking to an angel. But still he told him, your hands are full of blood. You cannot build a house for my name. Our bodies are wicked. So when does he talk to us? Through the Spirit. How can he reach us in the Spirit? In the Spirit channels of linkage, converging, communication. And these Spirit channels of linkage, communication is set in three forms: prophecy, visions, and dreams. Which formula does he use to communicate? He uses the formula of either signs, elements, or symbols, or codes. 4. So God will use either signs, symbol, elements, or codes. And that's why this is a language now that needs translation or understanding. Because for prophecies, they need someone with the spirit of understanding. He understands the prophecy. And so he is able to put the prophecy in the timing. Everybody. All prophecies, they need only one thing: understanding. There is no interpretation in prophecy. Prophecies requires understanding. Someone who has been given the spirit, the power of understanding. So that is how it works. And for visions, they need interpretation. Because vision comes in symbols. You know? And dreams, they need translation. Actually, vision need interpretation, and dreams need translation. Because dreams are languages which are just translated. Visions are signs that need the interpretation. Or whichever way you can put them. But I think that's how it should be in English. You know, English is not our language, so I'm trying to put them in a manner that, because prophecies need understanding. You understand the timings. This falls under this falls under this falls under this. Visions, they need someone, yes, it is the vision that should be translated. The translations of visions, yes. And the dreams need interpretation. That's how it should be. So the visions are translated. There was the vision of many Tekel Perez. They wanted someone who could translate. And so Daniel was brought and he said, okay, this one means your kingdom has been weighed, it has been found less, and it has been divided too. Dreams need interpretation. because of the element of cords. So the cords need to be changed. So that's where we find the interpretation of the cords. And that is how they are set. And that's why when you look at in the Bible, you find God allows this to communicate with us, regardless of who we are. Because regardless of our position, God sees us as human, full stop. Whether you are a king or a farmer, you are a human. The posts of human affects God nowhere. The posts of human, the humanity posts, are for the earth and for the earth only. But it doesn't affect God. Your position, whether you are a director, you are a manager, those are things of the earth. God sees you as a human being, full stop. And if he stops seeing you as a human being, then he will see you as a servant. So it's either you are a human or you are a servant. And now because of Jesus, he started seeing people in a different dimension, sons and daughters. So it's three things. Either you are a son, a daughter, or you are a human, or you are a servant. Today, you see me as a prophet. He sees me as a servant. But at what capacity? At the capacity of a prophet. So he can't come here and honor my title. For what? What is it? My title is nothing. I'm a servant and that's full stop. The titles of the earth doesn't affect him. They are things of the earth. You know, regardless of who you are, when you go back to your village, you are just the son of so-and-so or the daughter of so-and-so. Or a husband to so-and-so or a wife to so-and-so. Full stop. That is what you will always remain. You are director, you are manager, you are nothing. It ends with where you work. It ends with where you work. Your office messenger, it ends with where you work. When you go back to your village, you are either a son to so-and-so, a daughter to so-and-so, or a wife to so-and-so, or a husband to so-and-so. That's how your village knows you. The same with us with our titles on earth. They change nothing in the hands of God. God knows you either his creation, his servant, or his son and daughter through Christ Jesus. Full stop. Full stop. And so, God uses dreams and visions and prophecies to talk to human beings. A good example, you can get time, read the book of Genesis chapter 20 verse 3. The Bible says this: "But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night and said to him, 'Indeed you are a dead man because of the woman you have taken, for she is a man's wife.'" And who was Abimelech? King. But look at what God is telling. But God came to Abimelech in a dream at night. So God came to Abimelech in a dream, but at what time? At night. Why couldn't he come daytime? Because the spirit will leave the body, you are half dead. And people are surrounding you, they will see you dead. So what next? They will start taking actions of a dead person. Are you dead? Not yet dead. So God comes to pick your spirit out of the body to talk to you at the right time when your body is in the right place. How about Joseph in the book of Matthew chapter 2 verse 13? What did he do to Joseph? God sent an angel to Joseph. And verse 19, God still sent an angel to Joseph. God talked to us in the book of Samuel, 1 Samuel, the book of Samuel, 2 Samuel, I think so, 28:15 there. What did Saul say to Samuel when he went to arouse him? God does no longer talk to me either by prophets or by dreams. God does not even talk anything about me, either by prophets or by dreams. And so I am very distressed. That's why I just had to come and consult from you. Because God does no longer talk to me either by prophets or by dreams. So when you start having dreams, and when you keep on dreaming, it's a sign that God is talking to you and heavens are talking to you. So don't take your dreams for granted. Don't keep your dreams when you don't know the meaning. In fact, every dream you have, you should work hard to get its meaning. And if you know of somebody who has the ability of interpretation of the dream, then never keep a dream, because a dream kept is a resource, a treasury ignored. And not just a treasury, a very powerful treasury, but ignored. What do you think would have happened to Egypt if the king would have said, okay, I wanted you people to interpret my dream and you have failed. Let it be. It was just a dream, by the way. What is it all about? And I'm still the king. Nothing. I'm still the king. So it was just a dream. Nothing big. Egypt would have found its doom and destruction. But the king said, that dream, you will tell me what it means. And because you want to play around with me, I'll show you I'm the king. You have 4 days. If you don't tell me what it means, all of you should be hanged. Why should king pass such a cruel, very cruel order? And it is just a dream. But look at the power in it. Was it just a dream? No. The whole world was to depend on Egypt for 7 years. Because something great was coming upon Egypt for 7 years. And Egypt had a role to play. And their role was not only for them, but for the entire world. What do you do with your dream? You don't know what it means? It's still live in your head. You have ignored it, and here you are complaining, hey, I'm not prospering, hey, God is not blessing me, hey. How does he bless you? And he has given you a formula which you have never, you have been given a map that you have never even dared to look into it. Instead of looking into the map, you want to use it to lighten your charcoal. So who is a fool, God or you? Look at Nebuchadnezzar's dream. It became the calendar of universe. Yes. Nebo saw his kingdom of Babel, the richest and the most powerful kingdom ever, followed by other kingdoms that were weaker. Then now finally, there was a kingdom that was not made of a man. And that's the kingdom of Jesus. And that stone that came from the mountain, it came during the point of the iron mixed with clay. And that was Roman's kingdom. And how did Romans call themselves up to date? The Roman Iron Empire. And it's in their reign that Jesus was born. And Jesus today has become the greatest world mountain, and he is still growing. He has names in all tribes over the face of the earth. His system, his constitution is all over. Today, no matter which country you go, as long as it's a church, you know what to expect. One Bible, the first book, Genesis, the last book, Revelation. There has never been such a king. But the dream of Nebo became a calendar, a universal reigning calendar. And that's the time he had told people, you don't tell me my dream, what it means. You all die. If king can tag death with their dreams, what have you tagged? Ignorance, assumption. I want to believe you have learned something. And if you do dream and you forget, then take an action. Don't ignore it. Take an action of getting into deeper prayers, even fasting over that. Because devil is stealing something. You are not the first one to dream and forget. Even Nebuchadnezzar dreamed and forgot. But that did not stop him from wanting his dreams. He's the one who dreamed. He's the one who forgot, but he demanded it from other people. Imagine if he would have ignored it. Or did he dream and remembered? No. The dream of the image, he forgot. But that he did not assume it. One thing he remembered, he had a dream. As long as you call yourself wise men, you will give me, because I pay you salary. I pay you salary. You will give me my dream. But you know of a living God. You dream, you forget, you ignore it. It's not a big deal. It's a big deal. Take an action. It means something is taken away. Something is trapping your system. Your system has been hijacked. Your system has been hacked. Find out who is this demon. Which spirit is this hacking your system? Drawing the information that belongs to you. That's how it is.